What's up, beautiful people, and welcome to Women's History Month. Now, I'm well aware it started last week on March 1st, but this is my first Women's History Month content. So for the majority of this month, I'll be reviewing and analyzing movies with female leads. And today we're discussing Antebellum, the highly anticipated movie, for me anyway, that was due out in theaters last April, but ended up being postponed due to Miss Rona's arrival, and then released in September on streaming services. Now, I did not watch anyone's review of the movie until after I watched the movie and wrote down my own notes. Reason? I did not want to regurgitate what other people were saying about the movie. If you're new here, I always do this when I plan on reviewing a movie. I refrain from watching reviews of the movie until after I filmed mine. Now, I was excited for this movie. Seemed very Jordan Peele-ish from the trailer. And well, they did take a page from his book. Also, there seemed to be some time traveling involved. I was partially wrong. I would describe the story as an amalgamation of Harriet Tubman, 12 Years a Slave, Get Out, and Django. Only it's not happening in the 17 and 1800s. It's happening now. The William Faulkner quote in the beginning, "The past is not dead. In fact, it's not even past," explains the whole plot. The movie is timely, that's for sure.
I think trendy is the more appropriate word, even though I hesitate to use that word. But you feel my drift. It's all about that dollar.
Considering everything that happened last year and still continues to happen. Gabby Sidibe as supporting actress just stole the show. And while we are on Miss Sidibe, let's break down the scene at the restaurant, shall we? Party of 3 professional ladies. 2 black, 1 white, with reservations, mind you. Not a walk-in, about to be seated at a table by a wall by the kitchen, where they would probably catch snippets of the servers either complaining or boasting about their tips. Meanwhile, there are plenty of empty, more preferred tables. So Dawn, Gabby's character, checks the server, whose name happens to be Becky. How cheeky.
This table is 100% not acceptable, and I think that you know that, don't you? Becky.
Now, I've worked as a hostess at a restaurant at some point, so I know that just because there are plenty of empty tables doesn't necessarily mean that people aren't assigned to those tables. But given the storyline, it was because the party was predominantly black. One other thing that I noticed was when Dawn started to voice her dissatisfaction with the table to the server, the white member of the party hops in with,
"What my friend is trying to say is,"
which I found hilarious.
Enjoy your dinner. No. Sorry, I think what my friend was trying to say is, actually, babe, I got it.
She's not trying to say anything. She's actually saying what she means, which is that she wants a different table. She's asserting herself and doesn't need her white friend to translate or be her mouthpiece. So once seated at a nicer table and they order champagne, this guy who's been admiring from afar sends over, I think it was a vodka cranberry. Now, I've personally never had one because I don't like strong liquor, but it's a cheap drink in comparison to champagne, which Dawn proceeds to point out. You already know where I'm headed with this one. The black girl fetish, or the appreciation of black women with your mouth. But when it's time to show support with actions, radio silence, or just the bare minimum.
Yeah, it just shows lack of appreciation for our situation.
It's almost like pseudo-activism. A YouTuber by the name of T-Noir has a whole video on it. To be clear, her video is mainly about non-black men showing your appreciation for black women online on social media for the clout, not necessarily because they really care about black women, because if you really do appreciate and care for black women, why would you need to make a public display of it? It is linked below if you're interested. She has another one entitled "The Market of Humiliating Black Women." It is linked below as well. So back to Antebellum. So once Dawn tells off this guy, but then turns around and gives him her number and then dismisses him, her friends essentially tell her that he was too good looking for her to have criticized him the way that she did. Pretty privilege much? Or fragile ego? Pick your poison. But her response was what I was living for.
So, I'm cute too.
We love to see it. Now let's point out a couple of things that I think foreshadowed Veronica Henley's capture. Veronica was the lead character. The character Janelle Monáe was playing. Her slave name was Eden, so the first one I noticed was her hotel suite, Jefferson Suite, as in Thomas Jefferson, I'm assuming. Then there's the little girl in the elevator. pulling a rag doll with a noose around it. The front desk lady standing in front of a picture of a plantation house when Veronica is wanting to make dinner reservations. Veronica's hotel room suite's not being serviced, which we could blame on Elizabeth putting that do not disturb sign on the door after going in there, using her bathroom, touching everything, sitting on her bed, and then stealing her lipstick. The last thing that foreshadowed Veronica's capture is of course Elizabeth calling her on Skype, I'm guessing to track her location. The first 30 minutes of the movie had me impatient. The trailer contains contemporary scenes and plantation scenes, and I was just really eager to see when that transition was gonna happen between both. To me, the movie only got good towards the ending. We finally understood why Veronica, or Eden, had been slathering shea butter all over those door hinges and practicing not stepping on creaky floorboards so she could escape without a peep. And as for whether or not it is plausible for this community to exist without the outside world ever knowing, absolutely, it is plausible. I mean, who would think something more sinister was going on beyond the cannon noises of the Civil War reenactment sites? Think about it. It's like hiding in plain sight. I did like the ending though. Despite a few casualties, our heroine gets out alive. The Civil War reenactment site is dismantled. It's idealistic, and I hope we can get there eventually. But it's not realistic, unfortunately.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
I like the movie concept, but I'll have to rate this movie a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hit that like button if you liked it. Subscribe, comment. I do enjoy the interaction. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.